Okay, so hi and welcome everyone, and welcome for coming here this evening. I hope we managed to do the session fine once again. I will start by just spending a few minutes, just in case people have not maybe properly understood the spirit of the next exercise, and then I will leave questions to you. You can use the chat to ask questions, or you can use your microphone. Both are fine. So I'm recording the chat as well, so the chat will come up on the recording for everybody to see. So first things first, the idea behind this seminar is that you not only interact together, but you think of things that will be important for you to know from the others, especially when it comes to teaching practice. You have started your second, or are going to start your second week of teaching practice this week. You are seeing things that go on in schools, and I think that one of the exercises for this teaching practice is that of creating a kind of a reflective practice in you. I'm sorry, Elaine. It could be my bandwidth. Sometimes it's giving me problems. Okay, I'll repeat what I said. I will repeat what I said. Let me just see that the internet is fine. It's getting a bit disjointed. Okay, so once again, the aim of your teaching practice, now that you have started the second week of teaching practice, is that you reflect on the teaching that you are observing. You reflect on what is happening inside schools. You reflect on ways and abilities in which you can practice your teaching inside the classroom. Now, when it comes to learning technologies, we are seeing that many people suggest, advise, push towards having innovative practices inside the classroom. This doesn't always necessarily mean that you have to use specific technology-based tools. Sometimes the approaches that we do are indicative of a 21st century society, of the way that society is operating today. And if you look at Facebook and the way it is operating through the powers of the crowd, or rather that's what we say, We say that all the information, all the knowledge that is built up on these kinds of platforms, we see Facebook, we see Wikipedia, we see YouTube. Practically today, anything you need to know, you go and look on YouTube. And yet, in the classroom, what's happening is that everything that the students and the learners need to know, they have to refer to the teacher. And this is something which I would like you to think in terms of how you can use the different technologies you have at hand to try and shift this mentality that everything has to depend solely on the teacher, and lift some of the laziness in learning that is happening inside the classrooms, and turn learning as the responsibility of the students. So basically, the aim of this seminar is to try and get you to think how learning can be transferred as part of the responsibility of the students, using various tools, mechanisms, methods, approaches, so on and so forth. The way that I am thinking, or I am visualizing this to be done, is that you yourself, as a group that you have formed last week, you did Okay, Clementina, I am understanding your comments. I will. Don't worry, this is all recorded, and then you can get back to it. And my voice and the recording will be quite clear. So if sometimes the audio breaks off, I promise that for the next information seminar, I will go to work to be able to connect properly with a proper connection. So basically, what I was saying is that for this information seminar, What we need to do is that you, as your group, the group that you have set up previously inside the virtual world, you target another group. Yeah? You pick another group. And you meet together to be able to discuss possible questions that you would like the other group to answer. During the presentation, that other group will be answering those questions. Now, of course, give some time to the other group to prepare for those questions. The way the group decides in which to answer your questions can be flexible. Every group can answer the question in their own way. They could just talk. They could simply take a picture, take a photo, and we know that a photo can sometimes say more than 1,000 words, and then explain their answers through a photo. They might even come across a video or do a video themselves to explain the answers to their questions. So there are multiple ways in which you can decide to present your answers in reply to the questions set by another group. Who will know which group we are targeting? What I would like from you is that whenever you decide on a group, you choose a group, then you send me a simple email with the group names or with the group number that you have chosen. The group lists are here in the world. There's a group list with 15 groups. There will be somebody basically who will have 2 groups, yeah, to target. So it doesn't really matter in that kind of sense. So, well, that is from my end. Open to you for questions now. Any questions? Rosemary Saliba said, so we don't forget to choose the group ourselves? Yes, please do. You choose the other group yourselves, but you retain the group that you have worked with last time, okay? So Rosemary, you were in group number, I don't have the paper in front of me right now, so number 7. Okay, so you were in group number 7. You choose another group to whom you want to pose your questions. You also choose the questions that you want to ask them. Sharon said, what sort of questions can we pose? Okay, Sharon, the topic is about virtual learning environments. Now, virtual learning environments are a very broad term. Everything can be considered as a virtual learning environment. Learning management systems such as Moodle, such as the Frontier platform, which schools will be adopting, other learning systems such as Edmodo, such as wikis, such as blogs, can also be considered as virtual learning environments. So any environment, any platform that fosters a specific or a general type of learning can be considered as a virtual learning environment. So the term is very broad, okay? Virtual learning environments doesn't necessarily only mean Moodle, okay? Usually Moodle, Frontier, they are considered as learning management systems, a simple package in themselves. You can try to ask questions, limit your questions to 2 or 3 about about general virtual learning environment. So you don't need to focus simply on Moodle, you don't need to focus simply on wikis or blogs, you can choose whatever. Vanessa, questions have to be subject oriented? Well, it depends, Elaine. You see, you can ask the other group to speak about their own subject, but you can also have them as generic questions. But these questions need to be exchanged between the 2 groups, isn't it? Yes, Charmaine. The questions need to be exchanged between the 2 groups. So what you do is this. You meet first, you decide on 2 or 3 questions, you decide which group, you, through email or through myself as well, if you cannot manage it, to meet in person, through the virtual world, you meet with the group, You tell them, you give them your questions, and then they have the time to answer them. Alessandra, I can't hear anything. Okay, so just one thing, just about Alessandra. Have I missed much? Okay. Okay, Rosemary said, when will we presumably be able to make the discussions? Okay, during next week's information seminar, the members of the groups will come on stage and they will answer the questions. Please do not be too expansive, too detailed in your questions, you know, and in your answers. Not more than 10 minutes, a brief summary of what your answer to the group has to be. But you have to teach them, you know, it's a bit like teaching. You're going to summarize your points in a very brief period, and you're going to make that quite interesting. I always say that the teacher has got so many roles. A teacher is an entertainer, a teacher is an actor or an actress, a teacher is somebody who can captivate the audience. So you have those 5 minutes to present yourselves as the avatars to captivate your audience and answer their questions. Okay? Now you can captivate your audience in multiple ways, and if you prefer that you have an image to captivate your audience with, then please go ahead and do so. More so because, once again, this world will be populated with your world and with your work, and the fourth world will also be populated with your work. Okay, when is the seminar next week? Yes, I had initially suggested Wednesday 14th, but I do realize that there are graduation ceremonies going on, so there will be a clash. So I would now like to suggest either Tuesday 13th or Thursday 15th. I believe that those would be the dates. So if you can just put in your preferences, we'll just finalize it today, and then we'll let everybody know that we shall be having the seminar either on Tuesday or on Thursday. Okay, so Thursday 15th, no. So then it's out. And Friday, somebody had some problems with lectures, so I would say that we have to do it on Tuesday, the 13th of November. Time, okay. Well, it is up to you. Would you be happy having it at 8 o'clock? Would you be happy having it at 8:30? Or would you be happier having it at 9? Please let me know which time suits you best at this point in time. Okay, Sarah. No. We won't have the seminar on Thursday. So Sarah Kitar, the seminar will be on Tuesday. 8. Everybody's saying 8. Fine with me. So we'll make it Tuesday start at 8. Hopefully by 9 or 9:15 maximum, the seminar will be over. During the seminar, we're going to present. Just 1 second, because I'm not getting Lynette's. Okay. Wait a second. So during this moment, we're going to present our presentation with the other group who worked with, please. Yes, every group gets to present the questions that they have been asked. So, Lynette, somebody from group number 5, I don't know which group you're in now, asks you to ask you 2 questions, yeah? And you go on stage and you say, okay, people from group 5 have asked us those 2 questions. Our response to those 2 questions is very easy, very simple. This is it. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah? So that's Lynette's answer. Okay, Paul, date, which day? Wait a second, because this keeps coming up. Paul said, wait a second. Date, which day is decided first? 8:30. Okay, Paul, the date is Tuesday. I'll send an email now, but please note Tuesday, 13th of November. Time is at 8 p.m. Okay. So that's great. The earlier, yes, I know you have a full day of observations and lectures, so that's why we're doing it at 8. Okay, and then group 9. Will we be? Yes, please, Christine. Christine, please do stay in the same group as before, if you don't mind, unless there are some little exceptions here and there. Well, Anita, deadline to the groups to exchange questions, exactly. You need to give each other time to work on the questions. I'll post an email, preferably, advisably. I would like to suggest and tentatively suggest that you try to give the questions to the other groups as soon as possible, if you can. If you have thought about them already, just go ahead and email or email myself, or get the people from the other group from Facebook or through Moodle, and contact those people as soon as possible, okay? So that everybody can have the time. I'll keep on prompting people, yes? Perfect. I'll send a Facebook message so that everybody just gives the questions as soon as possible. I will also post this video inside the virtual world so that you can see it over and over again. And if you have had problems with the audio, you can listen to my voice a bit better. And I will also send an email to everyone over Moodle so that everybody will know what we spoke about and what conclusions we have drawn and referred at. Okay, where are the questions to the essay? The questions to the essay. Oh, to the seminar paper. Is that what you mean, Anthea? The seminar paper? Yes. Okay. Well, on Moodle there was a sheet, a guideline saying assessment, and over there, in reality, the seminar paper is not a question. In the seminar paper, what you are expected to do, though, as I said, I'll do a tutorial on the seminar paper. Yes, on how you can write for the seminar paper, what you are supposed to do, and how maybe you want to choose your topic, so on and so forth. So basically, the seminar paper, I have proposed 5 themes that you can choose from. Yeah, it's not a question per se; it's a general theme. And for example, one of the themes is game-based learning. Yes, for example. And basically, you decide to choose that topic and then write about that topic. What do you write? Well, basically, the idea is to try and find as much as research as possible as you can in terms of, for example, game-based learning or a specific aspect of game-based learning, because game-based learning is so wide. And then you write a bit about it, but then you also propose ideas about how this kind of research, if you were a researcher, what would you do? How would you research it in schools, for example? What would you need to know, to learn, to be able to make this kind of theme applicable to schools, to teachers, to students, and stuff like that. So there are 5 themes. I put 5 themes. But of course, you can choose your own theme. I'm very flexible. As long as we're talking about learning technologies, I really, really want to know what you think and what and how you would like to discuss this topic. Is it an individual assignment or group work? Well, the seminar paper is an individual assignment. The seminar paper is targeted to be handed in at the end of January, and it is an individual assignment. However, I will do 2 tutorials, and in those tutorials, you are invited to come with ideas, maybe even sketches of your assignments, and we can discuss it as a group. So you can discuss the assignment with me previously, with your peers, with your colleagues, and like that we can shape it together so that you have guidance throughout. Okay, are there any other questions? when is the seminar paper due? Isn't there a date yet? And around time we'll have the tutorial. Where can I find these 5 themes? Okay, Maureen. Okay, first things first. The seminar paper, as I said, is due on at the end of January. It will be the 31st of January. The 5 themes and the seminar and the way the seminar paper is going to be assessed, because I put in a lot of assessment procedures. A rubric, for example, is found on Moodle. Okay, it can be found on Moodle. The tutorials will happen in December after you finish your teaching practice, so that at least you will have that bit off your mind. And then you would have some time also to work during the Christmas holidays, so that at least you can structure your work a bit more. Sharon, again, those 5 themes are inside the Moodle. There's an assessment sheet, an assessment brief, giving you some details about the type of assessment and how I will correct. Okay, so how I will correct it, because the seminar paper I will correct using a rubric, which I have constructed, and you will be able to know how the marks will be allocated to the seminar paper, so that you will know and understand how I will correct. So for example, that I will focus on, for example, I don't know, the references that you insert inside the seminar paper, and that I will focus on, for example, the presentation of the paper, these kinds of ideas. But have a look at the rubric, it's quite self-explanatory actually. Any other questions? No questions? No questions? Okay, so just to recapitulate and conclude, if you're here now and you wish to discuss with your group about the questions and choose the group that you want to direct your questions to, please go ahead and spend some more minutes here, and then send me an email with the group that you have chosen, and let me know if you have managed to contact the group yourselves, or if you wish me to contact the group for you. So that is number 1. Number 2, the recording of this session will be available tomorrow from the virtual world itself. I will probably put it in the lounge areas upstairs. I'll send you an email exactly where you can find the recording of this session. I will also post on Facebook that we have managed to get the information session scheduled for next Tuesday, 13th November at 8 p.m. Okay, and basically I will also explain the dynamics of how the information session will happen, that I will call out the groups, the group numbers, the group members will come on stage, and they will have few minutes to explain and give an answer to the questions in as a charismatic way as possible. Is that okay? Yep, okay. Thank you very much then. Have a good work, have a good week. Enjoy your observation sessions tomorrow, and take care everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you.